Good evening, my name is Angela.S, and today, along with two of my friends, we'll be presenting about language and linguistics. Table of content of this material is the first one is origin of language, the second one is distinctive feature of human language, the third one is what is linguistic, and the fourth one is language branches, and the last one is perspective of linguistics. I'll be presenting the first two material. Let's start. The first one is what is language? Sapper 1921 stated that language is purely human and non-instinctive method of communicating ideas, emotion, and desires by means of voluntarily produced symbols. The method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in structured and conventional way. Now, if we're talking about language, we must talk about the origin of the language itself. Now, what is the origin, the actual place where the language came from? Now, the origin of language, there's many theories. The theories about language diverge in regards to their assumptions about what language is. There is a few theories about where language actually coming from. The first one is the Bao theory. The second one is the Pu theory. The third one is Ding theory. The fourth one is Yu Ho theory, and the last one is Lala theory. Now, we're moving to the next subject. It is a distinctive feature of human language. What's so special about human language that makes it different from another form of communication between animals maybe or anything else? Now, what is so special about the human language? It is human language allows speaker to express thought in sentences, comprising subject, verb, and object, and also recognizing past, present, and also future. It cannot be found in any other communication besides humans, at least not proven yet. Now, it did not possessed by all other animal form of communication. The most recognized feature of human language are duality of patterning, productivity, interchangeability, arbitrariness, displacement in time, space, and role, and specialization, and also cultural translation. That's it from me. The next material will be presented by Maria.N.
Okay, so next is about what is linguistics. So, linguistics is the systematic and scientific study of human language. It analyzes as a system for simultaneously relating from meaning and context. Whatever we do in our life, we will notice that linguistics is involved in nearly every aspect of human communication. To study linguistics is to gain a better understanding of one of the most important aspects of human being, the ability to communicate through language. Linguistic studies will teach you how language works, how language is used, and how language changes and is preserved. Linguistics employs a scientific method of language study that extends beyond form, meaning, and context. When we study linguistics, we are at the crossroads of all disciplines. As a result, according to Robin, 2014 and Wang has stated, it is perhaps helpful to note at the outset that the scientific study of language must be carefully distinguished from the study of specific languages. In linguistics, we must know about the scope of linguistics. It contains microlinguistics such as phonetic, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantic, and pragmatic as the base of linguistics, and sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics, and etc. as macrolinguistics. The next is about language branches. Language branches is a collection of a language within a family related to a common ancestral language that existed several thousand years ago. Differences are not as extensive or as old as between linguistic families, and archaeological evidence can confirm that the branches derive from the same family. The fascination with language branches and families appears to have won recently. Why? Because there appears to be no culture that has complete record of the famous language branches around the world. The Indo-European family branches were studied by the majority of linguistics because they are the official languages of many countries and have evolved into a language of instruction in many disciplines. Different language branches, each with its own sub-branches, reveal different culture and modes of communication. The next step is to categorize language groups based on their common ancestor and genetic origin, which is also known as a proto-language. This classification might not reflect the entire picture of the category, which includes extinct and endangered languages. However, due to space constraints, it only reveals the most prominent language branches. The next is about language branches in the world. Every single language booklet will fall under the collective grouping of a language branch, and distributed over these 142 language branches and over 7,000 living languages. It's called living because they are the first language of at least 1%. Now let's see the major language branches. The first one is Indo-European. Some example of this language family branch is Germany, such as Scandinavian, Flemish, Deutsch, Francophone, Afrikaans, and etc. Baltic, that is some of all Russian, Lithuanian, Latvian, and etc. And about the Slavic, it contains Polish, Czech, Slovak, Russian, Ukrainian, Slovenian, Serbo-Croatian, Bulgarian, and etc. And about the Armenian and Albanian, the Syrian, Indo-Iranian, it contains Kurdish, Parsi, Pashto, Hindi, which includes Hindi, Urdu, and Sanskrit. In Celtic, we know that is Irish, Gaelic, Brittany, Welsh, and Scot. And about the Hellenic, we know Greek, Cypriot, and etc. And Anatolian, Tocharian, which is also known as Turkestan. In Italy, there is Latin, French, Romance, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Catalan, and Romanian. And the next is Sino-Tibetan, which is Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world. This family is the most important language in Asia. Most languages in this group are monosyllabic tonal language. The syllables have tones, meaning that the voice can be high, low, rising, and falling. Included in this group are Sinotic branch, which is Mandarin and Cantonese, and Tibeto-Burman branch contain Burmese, Thai, Laos, Nepal, and Bhutan. In Arabic, Afro-Asiatic, Arabic is the dominant languages in this group. It is also the religious language of Islam and its holy book. This Arabic Afro-Asiatic consists of several branches. The first one is Semitic branch, which includes Arabic, Maltese, Hebrew, Amharic, Akkadian, and Ifrit, the new form of Israeli language. The second one is Berber branch, is spoken in the North Africa. There is in Tuareg, Guach, and Kaibe. Next is the Casitic branch composed of Somali, Galat, Bijan, and Afar. Cadic branch entails of 600 languages spoken in Nigeria, Chad, and Cameroon. The Egypt branch is the Ensign, Egypt, and Coptics. The next is Austronesian, also known as Malayo-Polynesian, consists of 1,000 languages dispersed across the Indian and Pacific Ocean and East Asian countries. The most common languages there are Malay and Indonesian. Some other includes Cham in Vietnam, Malagasy and Madagascar, Tagalog in the Philippines, and the Pacific languages, which is Maori in the New Zealand, Fijian, Tahiti, and Hawaiian. And the next is Dravidian. If not that Indian is the most dominant by in the European family, several Indian peoples speak Dravidian. Examples of the languages are Tamil, Sri Lanka, Malayalam, Kannada, and Telugu. The next is Altai. This language family is named after Altai mountain in Central Asia. Some example of the language family is Turkish, Korean, Kazakh, Azeri, Uyghur, Mongolian, and Japanese. The next is Uralic. Not all European languages are categorized into Indo-European. The name is given after the Ural Mountains. From the Siberian side of the Urals before migrating to Europe. Finnish and Estonian are somewhat similar and closely related to Finnish French. Ugric branch like Maria.N is originated from Central Siberia. And the last is Caucasian. The name denotes of Caucasus mountain between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. Languages attached to this group are Georgian, Chechen, and English, and southern Russia, apart with Dagestan, and Uzbek, Karbanian, and Ukrainian. The next presentation will be continued by Bintang.D.
So hello, I'm Bintang.D and I will continue the next topic. So the next topic is theoretical linguistics and functional linguistics. So first we're gonna talk about the theoretical linguistics. A common name for theoretical linguistics is generative linguistics. It comes from Chomsky's thoughts on linguistics proficiency and performance. According to Hayes 2013, these few points makes an effort to describe the nature of human linguistics expertise. So at its core, theoretical linguistics is concerned with the study of syntax, semantics, and phonology. These three subfields are interrelated and interconnected with each other, and each play a critical role in our understanding of language. So overall, theoretical linguistics is a concern with the developing models and theories that can help us better understanding how language works and how is it used. Next, functional linguistics is a theoretical linguistic thesis that holds the language to be a fundamental tools. As a result, it is reasonable to evaluate language in terms of the functions it performs at all levels of language, such as phonology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. So, at each level, the focus is on how language is used to achieve different communicative purposes. For examples, at the discourse level, functional linguistics studies how texts are organized to achieve different communicative goals, such as informing, persuading, and entertaining. So, overall, functional linguistics is an approach to linguistics that emphasizes the functional aspects of language, such as its use in communications and social interactions. It is concerned with how language is used to express meaning in context and how it functions to achieve different communicative purposes. Okay, that's the theoretical linguistics and functional linguistics. Okay, now we move to next topics, the micro-linguistics and macro-linguistics. So first we're gonna talk about the macro-linguistic first. Macro-linguistic is study of language using major changes as the assessment parameter. It is concerned with the comparative studies of language, area linguistics, language branches, or language varieties. They are interested in external aspect of language development. So, microlinguistics is focusing on the social and the cultural factors that influence language use and development. Microlinguistics also studies how language change over the time and how they are related each other. So overall, macrolinguistics seeks to understand language as a complex social and cultural phenomenon and to explore the way in which language is shaped by and to shape society and cultures. Okay, next we move to microlinguistics. After we talk about the macro, now we talk about the micro. So, microlinguistics studies how minor changes in the linguistics can affect a larger social context. So, it is actually a little bit similar with the macro, but more studies on how minor changes on the linguistics. Phenomena, grammar, and internal level of language analysis are more important in microlinguistics. So, overall, microlinguistics seeks to understand the inner working of language and how is it used to convey meaning in human communications. It is also provide a conditions for the study of larger units of language. That's a macro and micro. Okay, now we move to next topic, modern linguistics and classical linguistics. First, we talk about the modern one. The development that started in the 18th centuries is related to modern linguistics. The advent of the structuralist school of language studies led by Ferdinand de Saussure, Edward Sapir, and Leonard Bonfil, both in Europe and United States. At this period, it was a significant for study of linguistics. One of the main goals of modern linguistics is to identify and describe the structural and functional features of language. This includes studying the sounds, grammar, and vocabulary of language, as well as the way in which they are used in social context. So, modern linguistics is also concerned with how language is acquired and learned by individuals and how it varies across different communities and culture. Okay, now we move to the last one, classical linguistics. So, classical linguistics is the ancient manuscript of the earliest printed editions and translations of human language and communications that are supported by classical linguistics. The primary subject was classical phonology, which refers to written historical source like books and documents. So I think that's all from us. We hope that this video has been entertaining, informative, and engaging. Yeah, thank you for watching and see you later.